What you are watching should not be possible. That's not a figure of speech, it's a physical fact. The things this person does on a snowboard defy the standard laws of physics and the established rulebook of the sport itself. His name is Zeb Powell. And if you think that run was just a lucky fluke, a one-time burst of chaos, you haven't been paying attention. This is a guy who hated his first day snowboarding, a guy who won his first major competition with a trick he made up on the spot, a guy who became a champion not by following the rules, but by setting every one of them on fire. He's the most spontaneous and creative force snowboarding has ever seen, and his story is nothing like what you would expect. Our story doesn't begin on a majestic mountain in Colorado or Vermont. It starts 30 minutes from Asheville, North Carolina, in the town of Waynesville. This is where Zebulon Powell was born on January 18, 2000. He was adopted at just 5 weeks old by Carl and Valerie Powell. He joined a beautifully diverse family. His siblings are Jesse, Scout, Dylan, and Tyler. His father Carl ran a chip mill. His mother Valerie worked as an assistant teacher. From the very beginning, Zeb was different. His motor skills were off the charts. His body moved faster than his brain could process. He was running at 8 months old. He was riding a bike without training wheels by 18 months. His first love was skateboarding, but when winter hit in the North Carolina mountains, skating wasn't an option, so he needed something else to do. His friends all snowboarded, they kept pestering him to try it. Finally, one of them had a birthday party at the local mountain, Cataloochee. It was only 30 minutes away. Zeb was 7 years old. His parents signed him up for a lesson. It was a disaster. His instructor was, in his words, super mean, and she made one critical mistake. She set his stance up backward. It felt wrong from the first turn. He hated it. He wanted nothing to do with snowboarding.
Yeah, I went up once actually, for Thanksgiving, I think.
Okay.
And yeah, I went to a lesson at Cataloochee ski area, and I think my teacher sucked. Like, she was super mean, and she set me up a left foot forward, like regular instead of goofy. So I did not pick that up at all. Like, hated it actually.
The future king of Knuckle Huck, the stylist who would redefine what was possible on a board, was so turned off by one bad experience that he almost walked away for good. It took a full year for his friends to convince him to give it another shot. This time, he went with his dad's best friend. This time, they set his board up properly. Everything clicked. As he rode up the chairlift for his first real run, he saw the jumps, the rails, the boxes. He was instantly drawn to it. He knew that that was where he needed to be. And by the end of that very day, he was already hitting a box. A local park crew noticed him immediately. A little kid with no fear and a huge smile. They took him under their wing. They became his first mentors. They would tell him to try tricks and he would just go for it. He was not scared to fall. From that day on, his parents would drop him off the mountain after school. He would ride until closing. On weekends, he was there for 12 hours a day. The mountain became his second home. The energy was just different now. He wasn't being forced to do anything. He was exploring. He was playing. He was having fun with his friends. That simple shift from obligation to joy, it made all the difference. The kid who was set up on the wrong foot was now on the right path. And he was about to discover he was a natural. 2 years into his snowboarding life, Zeb Powell tried his first backflip. A kid who had only been snowboarding for 2 years decided to hurl his body upside down. It was more of a corked attempt than a clean rotation, but the intention was clear. The commitment was absolute. Fear did not factor into his decision. His instinct was simply to commit and see what happened. This fearlessness would become the foundation of his entire career. While other riders calculated and planned, Zeb operated on feeling. He saw something that he thought was cool and he tried to do it. The consequence of falling was just part of the process. He kept riding with his friends at Cataloochee. He kept getting better, faster, more creative.
I think that's what really gave me my creative side of snowboarding. Because we didn't really have like much park, so we had like a small train park that like I did like all our hiking and stuff in, but then like there was like I was just like at the bunny slope and there was all like another minute or two of riding. before you got to the park. So you had to and we had these walls that were perfect for doing jumps on and off of, and so you just find your own lines and do your own stuff off that stuff. And I think that kind of taught me how to be creative on it.
But his local mountain in North Carolina could only take him so far. His talent was rapidly outgrowing the terrain. Luckily, his Aunt Terry lived in Denver, Colorado. She was the quintessential cool aunt. She found out about a brand new, state-of-the-art action sports camp called Woodward at Copper Mountain. This wasn't just a local hill. This was a year-round training hub with foam pits, indoor ramps, and professional coaches. It was a snowboarder's dream. His parents sent him there for a summer camp. It was his first time seeing a facility entirely dedicated to the sports he loved. He saw the massive indoor barn with trampolines and skate ramps. He saw kids bouncing off the walls, driving go-karts, and snowboarding in the middle of summer. He went absolutely wild. The coaches immediately noticed him. They started calling him the boss. He was just a kid smashing off the walls doing his thing with a wild, unpolished energy. One coach in particular saw something special. His name was Chad Otterstrom. Chad was a prominent pro snowboarder from the early 2000s, known for his incredible style. He knew what he was looking at. Zeb wasn't just good for his age, he was different. His approach was unique. He had a natural air awareness that you just can't teach. Chad would watch him and think, what the hell is this kid doing? And more importantly, how is he doing it? Zeb wasn't thinking about becoming a pro. He was just having the time of his life. He'd come back to his parents' apartment each day with new prizes from small contests. I want a snowboard, I want a skateboard, I want a sticker. It was all fun and games to him, but the adults in the room were starting to see a much bigger picture. Chad Otterstrom began talking to Zeb's parents. He told them they should consider sending him to a snowboard school, a real one, a place where he could refine this incredible raw talent.
3 summer camps of Chad Otterstrom telling my parents that he needs to go to a school or pursue this.
His coaches believed his raw talent needed more than weekend riding. It needed real training. Zeb's parents sat him down. They said, if you want to get serious about this, we need to check out this school. Zeb didn't know what to say. He wasn't winning major competitions. He didn't have a specific idol he was trying to emulate. He was just a kid who loved snowboarding with his friends. The idea of it being a career, a life path, hadn't really occurred to him. It was just fun. But he trusted his parents. He trusted his coaches, so he said okay. They flew him up to Vermont, a place he had never been, to visit the Stratton Mountain School. It felt like tryouts. It felt bizarre. He went to Mount Snow first and saw a full half-pipe. He was in awe. This was the big leagues. This was a long way from the terrain park at Cataloochee. Stratton Mountain School, or SMS, was an Olympic training ground. It's produced dozens of elite athletes. The class sizes were small. The focus was intense. For a kid from North Carolina, it was like landing on another planet. When he rode that day, something clicked. This was where he needed to be. His parents enrolled him. At 13 years old, Zeb Powell left home to attend a boarding school for winter athletes. The fun was about to get serious. Stratton Mountain School was a culture shock. Suddenly, Zeb was surrounded by kids who were just as obsessed with snowboarding as he was. For the first time, he wasn't the outlier. He was part of a tribe. He tried every discipline. Halfpipe, big air, slopestyle, rail jams, he did it all. The school encouraged exploration. They wanted their students to find where they shined.
I did everything. But to go there, I was pretty much introduced to culture. I flipped the switch to ambition.
For Zeb, that wasn't necessarily about winning contests. He had the most fun just filming tricks with his friends. His coach, Dylan Demers, would shoot videos of the kids.
Our coach just had a GoPro on us at all times. And that's kind of why I learned my style of snowboarding too. It's just I don't really know what I'm going to do, but as long as the camera's on me, it'll probably be sick.
His edits of Zeb's innovative moves started to blow up online. Zeb was only 16, but his parts were getting attention. He was doing tricks that made people stop and rewind. What set him apart was how effortless he made everything look. He stood tall on his board. He made everything look big and smooth, even when he was spinning wildly. He wasn't just learning how to snowboard at SMS. He was learning how to be an artist. The trampolines and the airbag pits honed his natural air awareness. He could flip and spin with a control that seemed impossible. Being able to go off a jump and flip in any direction and come around back to your feet. Would you say that you attribute that more to the trampolines or natural talent? He said it was both, but more natural. He said his time at SMS wasn't about trying to get better. It was just so much fun. Learning new flips, trying to learn triples. playing crazy games on the trampolines, it all developed his air awareness. He approached it with a sense of creative play, not a rigid training mindset. But being able to exercise that natural talent at a place like Stratton was huge. Despite his incredible talent on the snow, Zeb worked hard in the classroom. He'd been diagnosed with a form of attention deficit disorder as a kid. The small class sizes at SMS were a godsend. He could get the focused attention he needed. His mom said he worked his butt off. He got A's and B's. He wasn't just a jock. He was a dedicated student. At his graduation, he received the Lisa Tuttle Award. It's given to the senior who's done the most to bring joy and a sense of worth to the school community through positive action. He was a role model, and true to form, when he walked across the stage to get his diploma, he did a backflip off of it. That's Zeb Powell in a nutshell. Celebrate the achievement, then immediately add a flip to it. He was now a graduate of one of the best snowboard schools in the world. The foundation was laid. The skills were sharpened. It was time to step into the spotlight. But the path he would take wasn't the one anyone expected. While he was at SMS, Zeb started doing what every kid does. He started posting videos on YouTube and Instagram. His first YouTube video was called Zeb Powell's Winter at Corinthia Parks. Most people's first videos are cringy to look back on. Zeb's was a declaration of talent. Even as a teenager, the tricks he was throwing were already at a professional level. He also won his first competition, Red Bull All Snow, at the age of 15. A year later, he won Holiday Hammers, taking home an $11,000 prize. The wins were nice, but they weren't his main focus. His real breakout platform was Instagram. He started posting a mix of clips, snowboarding, wakeboarding, skateboarding, but it was the snowboarding that caught fire. His posts had a loose, unpredictable energy that felt different from anything else online. He didn't hide the crashes either. He'd try something wild, slam, laugh it off, and go again. That honesty made people connect with him fast. By 18, he was filming legit video parts, including features with shredbots. He was clearly ready for the next level. The comment sections were filled with people who were absolutely blown away. Who is this kid? How's he doing that? His name was starting to get around in the core snowboarding scene. He was becoming an underground legend. Then, he got a follow on Instagram from the X Games account. He got hyped, but didn't know what it was about. He continued his day as normal, then a notification popped up on his phone. It was an email. The subject line said he was invited to the X Games. His heart dropped. He stood up and started walking around in disbelief. No way. No way. He couldn't believe it. He got invited to something so massive purely from posting clips of himself having fun. He got there based on fun. That was the coolest part. The invitation was for the 2020 Winter X Games, for the Knuckle Huck event. It was the perfect stage for his chaotic, creative style. He was about to step onto the biggest platform in action sports, and he was about to do it in a way that nobody, not even himself, could have predicted. This was the moment everything changed. But the road to that gold medal was anything but smooth. He started his run with the coffin melon grab, but halfway through, his brain said, add a flip. So he did. A coffin slide to a backflip. The crowd erupted. It was spontaneous. It was insane.
The flip wasn't intentional, haven't practiced it. I didn't believe I could do it, and then it just naturally happened. I guess I just said it right.
He landed his other two planned tricks perfectly. Then he was told he had time for 2 more runs. He had nothing else planned, so he did what he does best. He improvised. On his 4th run, he caught an edge right at the drop-in and stumbled, nearly falling. Most riders would have been thrown off, but Zeb turned it into a stylish, casual move like he meant to do it. And then, right before the knuckle, he went switch and launched into a trick that left the commentators speechless, a move nobody even had a name for. For his final trick, he took a victory lap with a 720 butter to 540. It was mellow only by his standards. His name stayed at the top of the leaderboard. Just like that, in his very first X Games, Zeb Powell won gold. It wasn't just his first gold, it was the first time a black athlete had ever won a gold medal in snowboarding at the Winter X Games. The significance of that moment didn't hit him at first. He said, it never set in until I won X Games. I started getting DMs. People were like, I had no idea black people snowboarded. I started because it was fun. My friends were doing it. It didn't matter that I was black. I didn't even look down on my skin before I thought about snowboarding.
It never set in until I won X Games. I started getting DMs and people being like, I had no idea black people snowboarded. I was like almost dumbfounded. I was like, people, because I just have like such a different way of thinking. Like, I started it because it was fun. My friends were doing it. It didn't really matter that I was black. I didn't even look down on my skin before
He wasn't there to be a trailblazer, he was there to snowboard. But by winning, by being unapologetically himself, he became one. His Instagram following exploded. He went from around 30,000 followers to over 60,000 almost overnight. He was now a mainstream name. After the X Games, Zeb's life didn't slow down. It exploded. The clips kept coming. They got crazier. He started riding a comically large snowboard.
That is fucking massive. What the fuck? Holy shit, you been ripping that?
Oh yeah.
A directional powder board named the Super Ultra Mega Block Blossom. It was 203 centimeters long. That is over 6.5 feet. These boards are meant for deep powder. They're not meant for flip, spins, or rails. They're thick, slow to turn, and unwieldy. Zeb made it look easy. He was doing presses, butters, and massive rotations on this giant board. Nobody else could do that. He picked up more sponsors. The biggest name in snowboarding, Burton, signed him. He got his own signature board. He collaborated with the clothing brand 32. He also started working with the Hoods to Woods Foundation. This nonprofit introduces inner-city youth to snowboarding in the outdoors. It was a perfect partnership. He was now in a position to make the mountains more colorful, to show kids who looked like him that this sport was for them too. The celebrity interactions started rolling in. He met the rapper A$AP Ferg at a Burton event called Culture Shifters. They instantly connected. Ferg was so hyped on Zeb that he gifted him a custom pair of gold grills.
After X Games, I signed to Burton Snowboards. And they're the ones who put on Culture Shifters. But the first that season, the next season, we got the opportunity to take A$AP Ferg snowboarding.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and his DJ TJ Mizell, he's a big snowboarder. I'd actually tapped in with him randomly, way before X Games, 2016.
Every time I elevated something to celebrate. John Jones, I went to heavyweight on these featherweights, but I ain't backing down. I'ma take the weight up another plate. Lean at the crumbs, that's how you eat. Let me demonstrate.
So how do you link up with Travis Scott to snowboard with him?
One of the managers was like, "Oh yeah, Trav was just in here. They just went boarding. I think it was Sean White, Russell, Trav." And me and Steve were like, "What?" And I don't know. I think it happened like that. It was somehow like that. But long story short, I ended up being the last one to hear about it. Oh, Stevie called me. He's like, "Yo, get up here. We're about to hit the lift." So I go up, and I remember it was kind of like a movie. I was about to miss him, but I remember Stevie just popping out almost a football field away, and waving, "Come here." And then I just pulled up, and we took 4 or 5 runs, super mellow. We're just kicking it. It was kind of a hectic day.
His life was becoming a whirlwind. He was constantly traveling, filming, and doing events. He had to hire a manager, Peter Cirilli, just to keep his schedule organized. With 6 sponsors, the pressure mounted. It was a lot of weight, a lot of stress. He admitted to feeling burnt out sometimes. He just wanted to sit in his hotel room, listen to music, and sleep. But his personal happiness was part of his brand. His appeal was his genuine, hyped energy. He learned to navigate the new attention. Kids would mob him on the mountain. He never shut him down. He would slow down, give high fives, take photos. His manager Peter said anybody can talk to him. It's an instant conversation. As a 23-year-old snowboarder who's getting pulled in 1,000 different directions, that's pretty incredible. So what is the secret to Zeb Powell's success? How does he keep doing the impossible? Well, it's not about training harder than everyone else. It's not about a rigorous practice schedule. It's about joy. Pure, unfiltered, childlike joy. He doesn't think about his tricks beforehand. He feels them. In the middle of a run, his brain might tell him to do something new, and he just does it. He calls it shutting your brain off, fighting the natural instinct to slow down or play it safe.
When I'm having the most fun on my snowboard is when I'll do the most craziest stuff, So if I have the biggest smile on my face, you probably see something.
When asked about his mindset before a big session, like when he became the only person to reach the top of the massive wall ride at Peace Park, he said it was internal. He wasn't fueled by the crowd. He just really wanted to get to the top. He figured it out by trying, failing, and trying again. He was in the zone. He's getting better every day, but in a way that doesn't make sense. He feels he can go a month or two without snowboarding and come back better with new tricks. He thinks it's a brain development thing. His father, Carl, always knew he would get there, and from a very young age, he instilled one crucial lesson in his son. After every competition win, every milestone, he'd look Zeb in the eyes and say, "Always be humble. Stay humble." Zeb has never forgotten that. He carries that lesson with him everywhere. He is the first to admit he's not a spin-to-win rider. He doesn't care about chasing the biggest rotations or the cleanest rail scores. He said, "I don't care if you don't respect my shit. I'm gonna do my shit. I'm still gonna pay respect where it's due." That attitude has earned him respect across the sport, from core kids to legends. He was asked if he feels pressure to always be Zeb Powell when he rides. He said a little, but he can usually filter it out, unless it's a full-on park mountain where everyone knows him. He recalled one time at Bear Mountain for a shoot. So many people gathered to watch that mountain safety had to herd him along. It was a constant stream of, "Hey Zeb, can I get a photo?" It got so bad, he ended up with 2 mountain safety guards by his side the entire time. It was insane. But he handles it. He remembers his father's words. He stays real. Zeb Powell's story is still being written. He continues to compete. He continues to shock people. He returned to X Games in 2022 and 2024, landing mind-bending tricks but sometimes failing just short of the number 1. It doesn't matter to him. He's not a competition snowboarder. He's a snowboarder who sometimes competes. That difference is everything. He started his own YouTube series, Planet Zebulon, giving fans a deeper look into his life and his other passions like wakeboarding and skateboarding. He launched the Red Bull Slide-In Tour, a grassroots event to bring energy and community back to East Coast resorts. His goal's simple: make snowboarding more accessible, bring more culture into it, show that it's not a far-fetched dream for anyone regardless of their background. He's reminded of his impact all the time. A waiter once came up to him and said, "Yo, what you're doing is amazing. My mom showed me your Instagram. There's no one looking like us out on a snowboard." That's the legacy he's building. One clip, one high five, one heart-shaped sunglasses moment at a time. In an interview, he was asked which celebrity he'd want to meet next. He said Tyler, the Creator, because he loves his creativity and humor. Then he paused. He said, "I don't know how the hell it would happen, but I say all this time nothing feels far-fetched. After ASAP, nothing feels far-fetched anymore. Not even a brag, it's just true." For Zeb Powell, it's the perfect motto. He's living proof that if you follow your joy, if you commit to having fun, and if you stay humble through it all, nothing is far-fetched. Not a gold medal, not a meeting with your idol, not changing an entire sport. Absolutely nothing. What'd you think of Zeb Powell's incredible journey? Let us know in the comments which part of his story resonated most with you. If you're still vibing to this kind of energy, the next video is sitting right there. Go see where it takes you. Thanks for watching, and stay wicked.